Hi, I'm Stephen Ham from Archery Supplies. Today we're going to look at the Touchwood Scorpion traditional recurve bow. Touchwood have got a whole bunch of recurve bows, long bows in their lineup. Now they're made in China, European brand, and you'll probably see this bow made by some other manufacturer with a different name. Okay, so let's look at this bow. Right, so the riser kind of feels chunky. Feels good in the hand, like it's... I don't think I'd want to have a bigger hand than mine. Not saying my hand's big, but kind of, you can see where it kind of sits there in my hand. So it's coming really close. Now with this bow, there's no spot for a plunger button, so they probably designed this bow more so to be shot off the riser. You can obviously shoot a stick-on arrow rest, like a basic Hoyt hunting rest. If you're going to shoot off the riser, I'd pad it out a little bit to get less wear through here. But quite a nice looking riser. The dual pins. This is felt here, but it's kind of like a high grip. A lot of the traditional recurves have a lower grip. This is more substantial. You can see it by the shape of it. Kind of reminds me of the bows built back in the 1970s, 1975s, and yes, I'm that old. Sight there, which is kind of weird because it's got a small sight window, so I don't think you'll ever be shooting a sight with this, but I know some people will want to. So let's look at the limbs. Okay, so the limbs come like this in plastic. They're black with the little brass fittings. Right, so just there you'll see some little marks. That's another mark there. Now this bow sells for about 200 bucks, 200 Australian dollars. So it puts it really cheap. I've got a whole bunch of bows at that price point now. Just makes it affordable. Standard padding on the back. Let's look at the laminations. So you got the fiberglass here, then 2 wood laminations. 2's good. Angle on the limbs. I've probably seen some bigger limb angles before. So there's your 45 pound, 60 inch. Now if you're looking for strings on a recurve, it's really common for a person to measure the string, and this will measure about 57 inches, and they'll try and order a 57 inch string or a 58 inch. No, you need to order a 60 inch string. The string will already be shorter by that amount, so just bear that in mind when you're ordering. So the Scorpion comes with some leather and a little pad which you put on. It comes with the bolts, an Allen key and a string. Okay, so when you're putting the limb bolts in, don't over tighten them. You don't need to be massively tight. They don't need to be like lots of pressure on them. When you use string the bow, preferably use a bow stringer because you don't want to break the limbs around your leg, because your mate does it. You can see one loop's big, one loop's small. The big loop goes to the top, small loop goes to the bottom. Bow stringers cost about 10 bucks. It's going to save you breaking a set of limbs. The company will not warrant limbs broken around your leg. So it's not a warranty. Warranty is where the thing just fails. And yeah, when you're stringing the bow, that's not a failure, that's you breaking the object. So when you're checking the limb, the string to make sure it's on the bow correctly, check it from the back, not from the front, to make sure it's on properly. You can see it's on properly, it's running straight down the center. You can get OMP limb, they're called limb remedies, which stick onto the back of the limb. You can get limb savers which stick on here to take out the twang out of the string to reduce the noise. And you can put silencers on the string to reduce the noise. I shoot split finger, which is 1 finger above, 2 fingers below, because it makes the arrow shoot dead straight. Okay. If you shoot 3 fingers under, it puts lots of pressure downwards, so the arrow tends to bow downwards, it tends to be pushing downwards. So So let's just try the draw of this bow. I really like see how that shelf is really close to my hand. That should make the bow kind of easy to aim. So here it's not pretty light there. As I get back here, it's really, that's stacking up. I really can't draw it back any further than that. So the better quality ones will generally pull back and you can keep pulling them. This really gets to 29, 30 inches and it just stops. Okay, it just becomes too hard to draw. That's very common with this type of bow. So let's shoot it through a chronograph. So we're shooting a wood arrow first. (158 feet per second). This is a Black Eagle vintage arrow. This is a 500 spined arrow. (159). Now I'm finding very little noise, very little vibration. It's very easy to shoot. Nice bow. When I look down the string, so if I look down the center of the handle, down the string, the arrow slightly on the left hand, so basically when you put that piece of leather on there that comes with it, that will be pretty much perfect. You don't need to pad it out any further. This bow is nice and simple. I just tie on some knocking points and go shoot. The bow's not hitting my arm on the way through. I'm getting no strike with the string at all on my arm. Feels nice, and for 200 bucks, like if you want to shoot trad, this is $159. One more. So I really like the grip. The grip's just, it feels like I'm pointing at the target, because that's the way my hand feels, because the arrow is so close to my hand. And it feels like that's where it's shooting. There's no vibration, it's nice and quiet. Probably didn't pull that back enough. 157. Look, a nice bow. If you're looking for a traditional, just having a bit of fun, that's the Scorpion. I really like it. Simple, cheap. This style of bow's been around for a heap, and don't be surprised if it's got little marks on the limbs. That's more than common. Little mark there. But overall, not too bad. Little limb marks there. But I like the way these limb tips sort of blend in. The sanding looks quite good just there. Overall, I think it looks good. Nice, you know, it's obviously not $1,000 bow, but it's not bad. I obviously could have tightened that one down further. Anyway, I think it's quite nice. So that's the Touchwood Scorpion bow. If you're looking at traditional archery and you just want to, I wouldn't shoot it with the sight, because I think there's not enough sight window here to have any impact at all. If I was going to shoot a sight, get one with a bigger sight window so you can shoot distance with it. I suppose what this is good for if you want to bolt on quiver. So if you want to shoot a bow quiver, this is awesome because it just bolts on there. Nice traditional hunting bow. Really nice bow and good price. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. The most common question I get on forums and people ask is what poundage bow I should shoot. Now, the number of people who go, I want to buy a bow for my girlfriend, I'm thinking about getting her a 60-pound bow. Then I saw a person asking, goes, my girlfriend's pretty strong, I'm thinking about getting her a 45-pound bow. And I might come out with a smart-ass comment and say, well, have you thought about buying her a motorbike as well? Because 45 is probably what you're going to shoot and not what she shoots, unless she's a pole dancer or unless she lifts weights at the gym. So as a rule of thumb, not to offend people, pole dancers are really, really strong, and girls who lift weights at the gym tend to be really, really strong, right? So, because they lift their body weight. If you can lift your body weight, you're really strong. An average guy hasn't shot before is probably going to be 35, 30 pounds, maybe push 40. That's what poundage they're going to shoot. A more experienced archer is probably going to be 45 pounds for recreational shooting, and they'll get tired and fatigued with that. That's going to be too much for target archery. Hunting, you might go up to 50 pounds because you're only shooting 1 or 2 arrows. A lady is definitely going to be about the 30 pound mark. Very few ladies shooting recurve bows will ever push beyond, when I say ever, a beginner bow, first timer will push beyond 30 pound. They just don't have the physical strength in their arms and their backs, and there are exceptions. First timers, there's been, I think, two, one was a pole dancer and one was a weightlifter who could draw 50 pounds. They were both very strong ladies, but most women will be either 20, 25 or 30 pounds. That's the way it is. That counts for 99% of all cases you sell. So if you think your girlfriend's strong, you think you want to buy her a 45 pound, even think that 45 pounds is going to be too strong for you. So for me, I shoot about 45 for a recreational hunting bow like this. I shoot 42 pounds for a target bow, and 42 pounds is too heavy for me right now because I'm not shooting enough, even though I shoot a 60 pound compound. Okay, so 60 pound compound is nothing. 45 pound with a recurve is a lot. Okay, so just bear that in mind. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching.